We have been hearing more and more from members of the community about issues that are arising with groups of young people. Most recently, Halloween was a very busy night, of course. And on that occasion, there was an interaction between a 16-year-old youth and a parent. So this young person was acting in a way that was not appropriate for young trick-or-treaters, and the parent tried to intervene, and the situation did escalate, and the young person was charged with 2 counts of uttering threats. 1 count of uttering threat to cause damage to property, and 1 count of causing harm to a person.
This, correct me if I'm wrong, Sam, but this seems to fall in line with what I've been hearing, and I think what the community has been hearing about these sort of, I don't know if this is the right term, but roving groups of youth that are, terrorizing people around that area. Especially Annie Williams seems to be a good target spot for people from these youth. Is that kind of falling in line with what you're hearing?
It does seem to be some strength in numbers, certainly. There have been issues at Monk Public School with ongoing issues of mischief that has been quite expensive for the school to repair, a couple of break-and-enters as well. And those are groups gathering behind and causing damage to the portables. In and around the town center, yes, again, groups. Sometimes, I think groups of young people historically have been just by nature intimidating to members of the community. And whether that's warranted or not, there does seem to be a bit of a public perception about that. What's changed recently is what seems to be the intent to harass. So it's not just a group of young people, it's a group who are deliberately interfering with traffic, slowing traffic down, and deliberately antagonizing. So that's the piece that is different most recently. Showing up on people's private property, helping themselves to people's yards. As benign as it may seem to go and ring someone's doorbell and then run away, that is bothersome. And when it is on an ongoing basis, it's a situation that does warrant more attention. So not a one of here and there, all these homes on a street, or whatever kids are calling it now, ding dong ditch. If it is repeated to one residence, then we start to wonder about harassment and that targeted attention on the part of a person. So it is a concerning situation, and we're working together as a community to formulate an approach to it.
Before we get into that, I do want to address that within your jurisdiction as well, it seems like Gravenhurst has not been alleviated from this issue either. We've heard of numerous types of mischief and damage, vandalism to, the little libraries, other things. Excuse me. But most recently, we've had some graffiti. I would say Satanistic in nature. Obviously, that's not, it's just seems to be what kids do sometimes. I don't want to pin this on youth as well, but are you connecting this to that issue?
I don't know that it's connected to the issue that we're currently facing in the town of Bracebridge, although it may be a youth issue. I would say we don't have enough information to specifically say that youth are involved in that scenario, whereas in Bracebridge we have eyewitnesses who are describing specifically the young people to us. Whereas in Gravenhurst, although it may be youth related, it also may not. And it was pretty bothersome. There's a friendship circle most recently down at the Gull Lake Park in Gravenhurst that was targeted with graffiti and the kind of language that you've already described. So
let's come back to what you are doing about it. I know that there's a community effort here specifically for the Bracebridge issue right now to try to target what's happening, because it seems like the youth in this community, not all of them, I say the youth, and I'm not trying to target the entire group, but there's obviously a group of youth in this community that are getting very aggressive. So what is being done, I guess, right now, Sam?
Well, although we do encourage people to call into our communication center to report their concerns, and that is mostly in order that we may better address the areas of most concern, so that we know what's happening and where it's happening. This is much bigger than a policing issue. Our goal is never, especially at a young age, our goal is never to criminalize youth. It is to look for those opportunities to come together with young people in a meaningful way and address the underlying concerns. So I would say most kids and young people, and it's similar with our entire community, they're good people. They're not bad people out intending to cause harm necessarily. There's an underlying issue, and our interest in partnering with our community partners is to address those underlying issues and meet with young people in a meaningful way to improve the situation for everyone, including the young people.
So I understand there has been a bit of a roundtable discussion about this. Can you tell me a bit about that? Who is involved? What is being discussed right now?
Yep. So in Muskoka, we have a situation table, which is a table that meets bi-weekly. Most of our community partners, it's sort of an anyone that can possibly help in a situation is there, from like our partners with the district, with housing, our local school board, like the homelessness team, the social workers, Canadian Mental Health Association, Children's Mental Health, Family Connections. So it's a very diverse and broad group of people interested in helping in a situation. So that was last week. We did table the discussion over how to approach this issue and how to best access youth and offer that information and that connection in a more meaningful way. So our school board friends are very cooperative and interested in being a big part of that solution.
Maybe you can highlight just a bit of some of the things that came out of that discussion in terms of possible solutions right now.
Well, there is a strategy that will probably start with some education at school and will include partners from the mental health team from both CMHA and through Family Connections and Children's Mental Health, just to meet with young people and have those conversations about why they're out and about, why they're gathering, and there is an enforcement piece. We do want young people to understand that there are consequences to these actions when it sort of moves into the criminal side of mischief and harassment and assaults. So taking that multifaceted approach just to try and create that understanding and give that information to young people, and perhaps they will give us some feedback on how we can help them address their needs. Maybe there are improvements that can be made in our community that would be helpful. Maybe there's a reason that they're on this street or this street. And so if we can talk and have a conversation, then maybe we can together come up with a solution.
Sam, I see a lot of discussion specifically on this issue that recently happened in Bracebridge. People are kind of two minds here. One wants to be more forgiving and understanding that there may be underlying issues, but the other one really just wants to criminalize these kids and, have them face the fullest extent of the law. My question is, which side do you think is without putting you in the spot here, which really side should we be leaning towards, and why?
The Youth Criminal Justice Act is designed to provide young people with many opportunities to sort of enjoy a meaningful consequence for their actions. And that doesn't necessarily mean a criminal conviction. That means an engagement in a program or a discussion with someone who can provide support. So the consequence doesn't always look the same when it comes to dealing with youth. The Youth Criminal Justice Act intentionally provides opportunities for youth to learn from their mistakes and hopefully grow and not make the same mistakes again. And so if we start to see the same mistakes again, then there are provisions in the act to sort of escalate that consequence or response.
Mhm.
But our first approach should always be, certainly under the provisions of the act, to offer that opportunity to learn a lesson as they are young and grow from it.